Welcome back. Last night, Paul and Christy Akeo from Spring Arbor finally returned to Michigan after being arrested in Cancun and held for weeks in a Mexican prison. They were accused of defrauding a Cancun resort, but their family disputes this, saying the resort actually broke their agreement. Michigan's newest Congressman, Tom Barrett, actually flew to Mexico personally to advocate for their release and then flew back with them last night. I talked to him earlier today and asked him what happened behind the scenes.
There was not a feeling of urgency involved, and so on Tuesday afternoon I got a briefing from the State Department back here in the United States in my office in Washington, D.C. I felt like this had not progressed in the way we needed, and so I made the decision to fly down as quickly as I could to just bring about a resolution to this. We went directly to the prison, met with Paul and Christy at the prison immediately upon our arrival. From there, we left the prison and went and met with the President of the Supreme Court of Mexico, began that process of negotiating some of the court proceeding side of it that can be very bureaucratic in Mexico. Their trial was not supposed to be for about a year from now, for example.
That's what I read.
So for us to be able to get them into a courtroom meant that we had to move a lot of channels to be able to do that. And then in the background, on a parallel track, we had to negotiate with the company around the terms of what we could agree to ultimately get them released and how that was going to work.
No charges, but were there any financial obligations that they had to come to?
There was a public statement made where both parties did not assign blame or responsibility to either party. There was a financial resolution to this, which was the amount of the disputed charges was about $116,000, and both parties are putting funds of that amount, equaling that amount, to go toward a Mexican charity that runs an orphanage down in Mexico. So the two parties are investing the money into that charitable nonprofit.
So a good resolution.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be happy and they're home safe.
Yeah, and that's ultimately what I was trying to bring about with the parties. And I looked at it from the standpoint of, number one, if you have a financial contract dispute in the United States, you handle that through civil litigation. You don't have a party in the desperate conditions that they were in down in Mexico as leverage for a settlement in a dispute of that kind. And for me, it wasn't so much who's responsible for which part of this and who's to blame for this and the other thing. I wasn't really interested in negotiating that part of it. I was interested in what can we do that will expedite their return, their safe release, and return home as quickly as possible.